Hey everyone, I'm Nirav Gandhi. I'm a planner at the MPC, and in this week's episode, I'm going to discuss the design review process here in downtown Savannah. As part of the 1973 adoption of HDZO that created the HDBR, it enabled changes to be reviewed according to a series of set standards that regulated height, mass, and design detail before a building permit is granted to prevent incompatible alterations. If there was no design review, insensitive changes could be made to historic structures in terms of material, additions, alteration, and demolition. Nowadays, any work that occurs in a local historic district is guided by the Historic Overlay District Ordinance. Each district has its own ordinance, which allows for the standards to be specific to what makes each district unique and significant. The overlay is broken up into three parts: Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation, Visual Compatibility, and Design Standards. To better understand how a design review process works, it's important to have a basic understanding of what each of these three sections does. First, the Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehab only applies to additions, alterations, rehabs, and reconstructions of historic buildings. There are 10 basic principles that were created by the National Park Service, which aim to preserve distinct and historic features and materials of contributing buildings. Second are visual compatibility standards, of which there are 12. These standards ensure that changes to contributing and non-contributing buildings, as well as new construction, is consistent with the surrounding neighborhood. The 12 items that are evaluated under this section are height, proportion of front facade, proportion of openings, rhythm of solids to voids in front facades, rhythm of structures on streets, rhythm of entrances and porch protection, relationships of materials, roof shapes, walls of continuity, scale of a building, signs, and directional expression of front elevation. For only the Downtown Historic District, color is also reviewed for compatibility under relationship of materials. Third are the design standards. These give specific requirements regarding materials, dimensions, and configuration in order to ensure that new construction is appropriate and the integrity of historic buildings is preserved. Standards cover items such as height, windows, shutters in commercial storefronts, accessory structures, and more. Each standard is separated into two main parts, one being alterations to contributing resources, and the other being new construction, alterations to non-contributing resources, and additions. While the design standards for contributing buildings largely recommend retaining historic materials and configuration, the standards for new construction provide exact numbers and lists of materials and dimensions that ensure appropriate new construction and work to non-contributing structures. Now that we've gone over each section of the Historic Overlay District Ordinance, we hope you have a better understanding of how staff and the boards and commissions utilize the ordinance to review and make decisions about projects in our local historic districts. If you're interested in learning more about historic preservation in Savannah, follow us on Instagram at MPC Historic Preservation or visit our website at thempc.org/historic. Be sure to tune in to our season finale, Episode 4, Demolition by Neglect, on our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening.